Hi everyone, like all of the interview evidence that we post, I'm going to be doing a quick introduction before it, and then we'll play the audio for you in full, completely uninterrupted. This is just a reminder for those of you who have not watched our 3-part series on Israel Keyes called Israel Keyes Life in Full Detail. It contains tons of new evidence and it is exclusive to Crime Culture Media at crimecult.com. If you would like to watch it, make sure you click the link in the description and subscribe. Okay, who likes the new background? Thoughts? Let me know. So this interview is a bit shorter, but it is a very interesting, unique perspective on Israel Keyes. Some of this audio is featured in episode 3 of our docu-series. Anyway, here is an interview with an anonymous friend / client of Keyes.
Okay, this is Officer Henniger on tape at APD headquarters. The time right now is 13:45 hours by my watch. It's the 16th of March 2012. This is reference case number 12-5307. Speaking with date of birth. Like I said earlier on the phone, I had a detective go out and talk to me. He provided us a couple of names of people that know Keyes. And basically I want to ask you about him,
Okay.
Mr. Keyes, Israel. How do you know him?
I've probably known Izzy for about 5 years, 5-6 years. Peripheral, he's was girlfriend, boyfriend, and we kind of run in the same circles. So quite often we'd see them at Thanksgiving or parties in the summer, or if they had Iditarod recently. He comes every year for that.
Okay.
He has done some work for us at our house also.
Now he's been with for a while now,
A
right?
long time, off and on. They're one of that couple that seems to kind of ebb and flow.
Are they? You said did they recently break up?
I believe so. I believe in the last, I think Thanksgiving-ish, it was kind of decided it was
But they're still living
stop
together?
doing the roller coaster and call it quits. And the agreement was, as far as I know, is that Izzy was living there and was working on her house, remodeling it in lieu of rent. And I don't know how long that's been going on.
Okay. All right. Do you know of anywhere else that he stayed?
No.
No. Okay. When was the last time you saw Israel?
The Iditarod, I saw him twice on that day.
Okay. And what day was that?
Saturday, March 3rd or 4th.
March 3rd.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Who did he come there with? Did he come there with?
I believe he came with his daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
What vehicle were they in?
I don't know. We usually do a little tailgater right next to the right on Cordova there, and so everyone just kind of parks and walks over towards us.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what he has. That white truck, I know that.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw that white truck?
It was before last fall, probably.
Okay. All right. All right. Has he ever done work for you?
He did 2 projects for us in the fall. Put in a couple windows, and then put in a vent for our stove to go out through the roof.
Okay.
And we had hoped to get him for more stuff, but his time, he was planning on leaving, going back to New York, I think, in this summer, early summer. And he had property there.
He's got property in New York.
Yeah, upper state New York, I believe. Someone has told me that. And just said he couldn't make a go of it here with his construction company. He was fairly cheap, 35 or 40 bucks an hour. So that's a pretty good price for a handyman.
Yeah. What about, did he have any employees?
I don't think he ever worked with anybody. One of the things I know that we liked about him was you could assist him. So you could, cut down your costs by helping him carry plywood and stuff like that. So he appreciated that.
All right. Any other friends or associates?
Not with Izzy. He was always, you've met, he's very outgoing and friendly and kind, and he always kind of accompanied her everywhere. So I don't know anybody that would go out and hang out with Izzy on one-on-one basis. It was always he came with, he associated with her.
Okay. So since he installed, your stove vent and everything like that, how many times have you seen him through the fall? And
Through the fall, I'm guessing 5, maybe, since September, whenever he put those in, 5, 6.
What about in the last 2 months?
We saw him at the Diderot at the race in the morning, and then in the evening we went to a friend's house, and he was there, and I visited with him for about half an hour, probably.
Okay. Which friend's house? Okay. So he knows Israel as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same group of, same circle we roll in.
All right. Do you have a
There's an
contact number?
H yeah, there's an H in that name, too. Oh, I think I got my phone here. It's quicker this way. So most of us are all known each other through the observing program. We go out on the boats in Kodiak and Dutch Harbor. We did. Now most of us are on the land here. There's
Okay. All right, observing program. Just
go out on the boats and count fish.
okay. All right. Did he seem odd at the Iditarod? Was his behavior different?
Yes. Izzy's a very quiet person, which is what you've probably heard from a number of people. And brother-in-law was in town, and we wanted to stop by. And
His brother?
no, my brother-in-law.
Okay, all right.
So we said just half an hour. We'll just stay for half an hour. There's some out-of-town guests, and I kind of felt bad that I wasn't visiting with them. I was out by the fire with Izzy, and he was just very talkative, which is odd for Izzy. I don't know if he had a few beers in him or not, but he's not known to drink, have a beer around the fire with us, but I've never seen him out of control in any sense in that manner, drinking too much.
Okay. So he doesn't drink very much, but he was very talkative.
Mhm.
Was he like amped up talkative, or?
No, he's just a quiet, low, mellow guy. And at one point, my wife even came out and said, "Why don't you come in and visit?" We had friends up from Canada, and I said, "Izzy's talking. He's telling me a whole bunch." I always found him kind of fascinating, as far as a contractor. That's something I always would like to do. So,
Yeah. What was he talking about?
his family. He talked. I found out some stuff. He grew up Amish. Like I said, I've known this guy 5 or 6 years, but never probably had more than a 10, 15-minute conversation with him. That he grew up, let's see, he was the 7th kid and 6 girls in front of him, so he said he was kind of poking fun at that. And then he did mention he has a couple behind him. He does have brothers behind him. And that he grew up in an Amish. His folks decided to go to an Amish community, and that's when Izzy decided to go in the Army. He wasn't going to make that move. His dad had moved around quite a bit, I guess. Sounds kind of eccentric, I have 12 kids or whatever.
Yeah.
So Izzy decided to go in the Army rather than go Amish. And one of the sisters was still Amish, and then he mentioned he was going down to Texas for the wedding. And I think
Whose wedding?
I think it was a sister's wedding, and then there was going to be another one to follow, possibly. And he mentioned the difficulties of flying down twice and missing work and all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh. Okay. Have you ever known him to? What about drugs?
I've never seen that aspect of him. Like I said, we'll have parties, and we're all 40s-ish, so 30s to 40s, so we have a couple beers and call it, they're pretty mellow.
So you don't know if he smokes weed or got into anything else?
No, I've never seen him
Okay.
I've never seen any activity. Like I said, at the Iditarod, that was the most talkative I've seen him. I suspect he had a couple beers in him, but I don't know.
So that's pretty much all they talked about was family and anything else, anything odd.
No, just that he was talkative I mean, it was just me and him pretty much at the fire, and then people would come over and, poke the fire and leave. So probably about 30-minute conversation.
Okay. So he was having a tough go of it with his construction company, you said.
That was the impression I got. I don't know if he ever said that, but other people told me that he was, if you want something done by Izzy, hurry up, because he's saying he can't make a go of it up here, and he was going to move back to New York. But he, like I said, I think he charged $40 in the summer and $30 an hour in the winter, which is pretty dang cheap. And the guy was pretty skilled. We liked everything he did for us.
Yeah. Okay. Did he ever talk about about any was he in debt? Did you know, or did he?
I wouldn't know. I know the arrangement with he wasn't paying rent there. He was working on the house. That's about all I knew from his financial aspect.
Okay. Now, as far as the white truck goes, can you describe it from the last time you saw it?
No canopy. I believe it was an extra cab. It was when it was parked at our house for 2 days. I don't think it was a Ford. And then he had the trailer with it. So he usually hauled the trailer.
Okay. What about construction type stuff on the truck? I mean, did he have oversized tires or lumber rack or any toolboxes? Or was it just a straight truck?
I think it was just a straight truck, but he had everything in there, and then the trailer was also kind of the dump run too, so it was pretty, the first half of the trailer outside of the boxes he has on the side and the front were all, stuff headed to the dump.
Okay.
So, I don't know, I think he had something Keys Construction on the side of the truck maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure of that though.
Okay.
It seems like it was something that broke up the pure white.
Okay. So it was like actually on the side of the truck and not...
I think on the door.
Okay.
Yeah, I think on the door. I'm not 100% on that though.
And when was... That was back in the fall?
Yeah.
Okay, of 2011.
Yeah.
All right. And can you think of anybody else that would know Izzy?
Our group, like if you call Mike, he knows just as much as I do. We've known Izzy for 5 or 6 years, but never really. I mean, like I said, he's a pretty quiet guy. So when we'd have these early Thanksgivings or whatever get-togethers, he was always very content just to sit in a chair and observe,
Okay.
visit a little bit here and there. But he was just known as a pretty quiet guy.
Did he have a yard or a place where he kept equipment or
I think it was all over it.
all over?
Or just stayed there, and then he.
Any storage units that you know of? Or?
No storage units that I know of. I know he would leave the trailer on site once in a while, and he had to go get his daughter quite often at 3, go get her, and then he'd come back, and very pleasant to have her around and give her a hot dog or something like that while he worked till 7 or 8 at night.
Okay. And you don't know of anybody that ever helped him out on the job?
I don't know of anybody. He did a big job for our friend down in Wasilla. Was there for quite a while, and I'm pretty sure it was just Izzy. They totally gutted a house and completely gutted, and then Izzy came in and did plumbing and bathrooms, and so I think he actually camped out there for a day or more than a day or two. But
When was that?
September. It was actually during the same time he was working on our thing. September or August. I'm not sure the dates exactly.
Okay. And what was it?
Yep. And I got his number if you want him. And he called me. He's actually called that 800 number. And they said they would pass it on. But he had contact with him for, like I said, probably pretty steadily for 2 or 3 weeks. Is he camped out in the yard there?
Okay. Did he mention anything about a cruise when you talked to him at the Iditarod? Anything about a vacation prior to?
Yeah, they went on a cruise, I think, now that you mention it, with his mom.
I'm not sure, but did he say anything about that?
Maybe he didn't mention it, but someone else had said maybe over. Maybe I'm getting friends mixed up. But I think him and his daughter and his mom had gone on a little cruise out of L.A. or something like that, done a little 5-day down to Mexico or something like that, I think.
Okay.
He seemed like he traveled, not a lot compared to most Alaskans, but he did go outside a couple, 3 times a year to visit, make sure that Grandma got to see.
Did y'all have a mutual friend, maybe by the name of? Or
Yeah, I know.
did you ever do work with him?
I couldn't tell you that. I know he's in the construction business, and he's done up and down. Been unemployed for a long period of time, and then. But I don't know if he ever worked for Izzy.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
But he would know Izzy?
Yeah, we all kind of know Izzy, but
What's his name?
I couldn't even tell you. He's on the way outside of a peripheral. Would know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Phone number for him?
I don't have a phone number for
Okay. What?
There's his phone number there.
Thank you.
So I'm sure you talked to.
Yeah, one of the detectives actually talked to him. I haven't talked to him,
Okay.
but he's the one that gave your name and
Yeah,
Yeah.
college roommates.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Outside of the circle there, I was kind of on the peripheral of the group. It was mainly she has really good girlfriends, and then it was that group, and then my wife wasn't in that girlfriend group, so therefore we weren't as involved as some of those other people were.
Okay. So nothing odd that you can think of, or like maybe something he said that was like,
It was odd behavior, but not
just because
super odd. Just that Izzy spoke for half an hour was unique.
Okay. But just normal conversation, not.
Yeah, just what are you doing for spring break and weather and snow loads and that kind of stuff. And then the fact that he actually opened up about some personal things about his family and stuff. I'd known the guy for 5 years. I never knew he had 11 or 12 siblings or whatever it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'll probably give a call as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with my card, and if anything does strike you or pop into your out of your memory or something like that would seemed odd or out of character for him, other than talking so much, give me a call and I can pass that information along to the detectives or talk to you about it.
Okay. I think we find it pretty odd that he would be involved in anything like this. I'm sure you've heard that. He just seemed like a peaceful, quiet, honest guy that would be happy
Yeah.
just living a simple life.
Yeah. But he's definitely involved.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I appreciate you coming in. And like I said, if you can think of anything else, maybe something that or anything odd or out of character,
Okay.
that might give us some sort of insight as or any kind of yard that he kept stuff at, or a place that he hung out, or a friend, or maybe places that he had keys to. Favorite places that he liked to go, maybe Earthquake Park, or the parks that he liked, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he took bike rides or something like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Places he frequented. I mean, can you think of anything like that right now, or?
No.
Okay.
Really didn't know that guy on that level, that personal level.
Okay. All right. Well, there's my name. The business is actually Dispatch's number, and they'll know how to get a hold of me. And the voicemail is actually my desk. And then, of course, my cell phone number.
Okay.
And, like I said, if you think of anything, call me. Let me know.
Yeah. Kind of keeping our heads against the wall of any signs or anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't that close to contact.
Yeah, because we still need to find something. So, anything that you can think of. And I'll go ahead and go off tape here at 13:45 hours.
What makes this interview so unique is being able to see from an outsider's perspective, someone who was friends with Keys. Keys did some work for them and they became friends, and it is really interesting to see their observations of Keys and what he was like. People always say, it's the silent ones you got to worry about, and this really rings true. Everything he says about Keys is it makes Keys seem like someone you could not get through to. But he also describes him as being peaceful and nice, and it is terrifying that people like that really just walk among us. And I know it's like a small percentage of the population, but so many people described Keys this way, and he clearly was not really like that. I think he was just very quiet because he couldn't relate to anyone. It seems like most of his conversations were just small talk with people. Even Kimberly, his girlfriend, said that she didn't even know all of his siblings' names. I can't imagine being engaged to someone or even just dating someone for over 5 years and not even knowing all of their siblings' names. That is how closed off Keys was as a person, and it makes sense that he kept so many secrets. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Victoria Evans. Be safe out there.